Hello. So today, been looking at Google Moon and found something quite peculiar on there. Now, there's a lot of things to be said about the moon, with its strange gravity, its strange size and proportion to the Earth compared to other moons. But when you look closer in at the southernmost hemisphere, you'll see that there's an arrangement of buildings. Now you can see these buildings, or maybe one possible building, which could be something 40, 60 stories high, by straight edges, and at the top there seems to be some kind of, I don't know, dish or who knows what. If you ever looked at the moon landings when they come back, their actual welcome home sort of interview, the images on their face don't really say that they've just done something that man has accomplished for the first time in their lives. Now, as we look at this image, we'll start to zoom out so you can see exactly where it is for yourselves. And what you'll notice is there's a kind of tape that covers the side. Not just covers it, but tries to hide it. If you notice there, the detail without the tape and the detail which the building is sort of behind. Now, try to look at this from all different angles, but unfortunately you cannot get any closer to it. Google Earth just won't have it. But although you can get closer to other parts of it. So if I just get this is no trick or anything like that. This is well, what we could call some sort of a lunar base or something like that. We've always thought that was something on the dark side of the moon. But maybe there is something on this side of the moon as well too. Now, there's ancient stories about the Dogon people that have stories about before the moon was placed there. The moon was apparently placed there after some cataclysm that struck the Earth and sent its axis off course, meaning its wobble for the seasons wasn't exactly in true order. It meant it sort of wobbled more, and the North and South Pole would switch, literally switch places, a sort of polar switch. This has been suggested many times that there has been a cataclysm in Earth's recent past, something 12,000 years ago, and there's a lot of places on the planet that can prove this fact. I mean, the Great Pyramids is the biggest well-known structure, what we think was for 4,000 years, but the actual building of it, the actual Bronze Age people built from it, granite, could carve into granite, just like, you know, our today we use power tools and diamond cut saws, but they seem to have been able to cut through this granite, which is the strongest other than diamond on stone scale, and it just goes to show that the Dogons might have been right. Apparently there's orbiting, I don't know, space station or moon, perhaps from the asteroid field between Mars and Jupiter, where there is said to have been like a planet there, and with the debris and with Mercury's strange opposite cycling. It could mean that, you know, messenger of the gods, Mercury's always been called, and it's supposed to flying through the heavens, and maybe that message came from, or maybe that myth came from this unique planet between Mars and Jupiter. There certainly seems to be enough debris of it there, and with that giant gas planet next to it, I'm sure it would have kept a lot of it in its same orbit. But yeah, many things said about the moon. The moon in proportion to other planets' moons is totally size comparison so astonishing, and that it can cover the sun as well is just another strange, miraculous faith. But what if in fact whatever the moon was, I don't know, orbiting station, some kind of, even then you can't really say it's an orbiting rock because it needs to have the mass, but some sort of station with some kind of energy we don't know yet could make it so that it can have an effect on the earth, as we see with our oceans and the tides. To say that it's hollow inside, many people have noticed this for centuries, calling it like cheese like, and even when the Americans did go to the moon in the 60s and 70s, they tried to drill into the actual surface of it and couldn't get that far because the strongest of the metals seem to be at the edge of the moon. It's a very interesting picture. As I say, try to zoom out so you can try and capture it yourself. It's just a weird why there seems to be some kind of tape as if to trying to cover it, but it isn't doing exactly a very good job of it. I found this a few months ago, and I looked into some old myths about the moon and stuff like that, and that's when that Dogon one came, that the moon was put there so it rebalanced the earth, and every so often, 26,000 years or something like that, it has to be adjusted slightly so it wouldn't cause another cataclysm. And funnily enough, the Pyramid of Giza does hold the dimensions of the planet within it, and some people have said that the Pyramid of Giza could actually be a power plant. It's situated right in the middle of the planet. It has all these unknown features. That's a lot more than a tomb. People only call it a tomb because scientists only thinks that, well, there's no one else there before, but they're missing the point that there might have been a civilization just as advanced as ours before. And with the many sites around the world, it goes to show that there is a great deal of truth in this. But so I'll just show you these pictures anyway, so you can look at this on Google Earth. I'll try to give you a roundabout picture where they are and zoom in from it. It's at the southern end, and you'll see what looks like a crashed airplane and a meteor. Not saying it is a crashed airplane, but if we go back to the original pictures again, you can see we drew straight lines, and you can see that is not natural. I mean, the Americans can say they've put it up there, but then they would have to admit they clearly have done more work and more research on the moon than that's thought been possible or even admitted to. But I don't know what you think. Tell me what you think in the comments. But go look for yourself. Shouldn't be too hard to find. Cheers.